graphic. All right, so Orioles April recap. So we every month, like we kind of recap the whole month in addition to our Orioles report. So we're not just going over just what happened this week. Orioles did win tonight. It looks like 5-4. The Mount getting his fourth save of the year as well. So that's good as well. The stats here are not factored tonight's game because we're obviously doing this tonight while the game was going on. So good job by the Orioles. Now 12-18 after the win and winning. Is that 4 out of 10? I think it's still 3 out of 10 that they've won. So I think it's 3 out of the last 10. Not great as well. Still in fifth place in the AL East. Which for those of you that are confused, which is last, even though they won 2 out of 3 in this series against the Yankees. Batting order. So we're going to go over this as well. Cedric Mullins, I think, has been in leadoff. He's deserved it. He's been the best Oriole in terms of offensive production, hitting for power. He's been outstanding defensively, as he always is. I think the record you're seeing, had it not been for Cedric Mullins, it would have been far worse. I think he's been fantastic at the start, back in the leadoff spot. I think it really took a lot of players struggling for him to get back at the top of the batting order as well. So that's been good. Gunnar Henderson and Adley, I'm going to talk about them both at the same time because they're both basically slow, had a slow start. Gunnar, I think has been hard on because he didn't play at all in spring. So it didn't surprise me that Gunnar didn't do well early in the spring. It just didn't surprise me because he didn't play at all. He kind of played a little bit in Norfolk, so they brought him up. He's still kind of working his way in. I do see him coming around a bit as well. So I'm not overly worried about Gunnar quite yet. Adley, I don't think has been off to a great start as well. Not hitting for average. I think his power number, but I see kind of the same things. For whatever reason, he didn't go off to a good start. He seems to be coming around a bit. The lights coming on, but they haven't been great. I think part of the offensive production, you cannot have a successful team and not have production from Gunnar Henderson, production from Adley Rutschman. Not going to work. So you're not going to be able to do that as far as getting good production from those guys. So definitely you have to do that. Ryan O'Hearn, I think is probably I think if you want to say he's been the best offensive production, I think I got no problem with that. He's actually had to play different positions. He's actually had to play in the outfield. He's not just DHing every day as well because of all the injuries that they've had. But Ryan O'Hearn's been really good. I think he's been hitting for power, production as well. Jordan Westbrook's been DHing, and I kind of said this last week. They didn't announce it, but now he's on IL because of an injury. Kind of figured that. Why was he DHing so much? It didn't say. They didn't even know nobody brought that up. Heston Kjerstad, average, not great yet, but he's hitting for some power. So I think he's off to a start. I think he needs to play every day. He needs to play. As a matter of fact, I'm going to skip to Jackson Holiday. The manager doesn't have confidence in Jackson Holiday, I don't think. I think there's no way you have confidence in him. He's being moved out on that too often for Jorge Mateo as well. He's hitting about 240. I got to look at it tonight, but he's hitting like 247. Mateo's hitting 100. Why is he not playing more? I do think that he doesn't have confidence for whatever reason. I don't know whether he feels he's too young. But he knows more than I do. I'm thinking about – I assume he knows more than that. But I definitely think that is the case. He's being moved in and out as well. Inconsistent so far. Mountie, I think he was good tonight. I think he hit a home run. Mountie's a bit streaky. He's hit like 194 his first month. He hasn't been any good. Most nights he's still not hitting as well. Urias has been typical Urias stuff. Average defense, average home run, average production, and like is decent at third base. I think on a really good team, Urias just isn't typical stuff for Urias. Can't really complain too much. He's not giving you anything that he didn't normally give you. So that's the case with Urias. Injuries, there's a lot of them. Zach Eflin, Jed Grayson Rodriguez, Kittredge, Colton Cowser, Tyler O'Neill, Westy, John Westberg, Gary Sanchez, Carl Bradish, Maverick Hamley's on the bench, replacing Sanchez. Jorge Mateo, Dylan Carlson's in as well, up from AAA. Roman Lotto is the guy there. Tyler Wells, Andrew Suarez. So that is Tyler Wells, Andrew Suarez. So those are as well. Talk about it a little bit. O'Neill should be back soon. Westy shouldn't be out long here. Sanchez probably a little bit more here. Eflin should be back any day now, so I don't think it's long. Kittredge is throwing on the side as well. Tons of injuries. Like you're missing your three best pitchers. Right? Those are your three best pitchers on injury. Eflin, Rodriguez, Bradish, maybe you're one of your better relievers. Colton Cowser, you're missing a lot of production. He just went to 60 day. That's not. I didn't even get to Wells and Suarez, who were good contributors last year. Rotation, Charlie Morton has been horrible. 9.45, and that's down. And that's down because he had the relief outing that actually lowered it as well. Dean Kramer, 2-3, 6.84. No surprise with Kramer. He's good one start. He's bad one start. I used to say that about Bradish. Good Kyle, bad Kyle, same thing. Good Dean, bad Dean. You'll get as well. Sagano, I think, probably is on the list as well. The record would have been far worse. Sagano, usually guys that come from Japan and pitch, you see they're good at the first half of the season. Why? There's no book on them. So guys are still trying to figure out what they do. And there's really no scouting report as much on those guys. So they do well. I think Sagano has done well. He's clearly easily been their best pitcher. Povich tonight didn't get the win. I think he went 4.5. He's kind of like Kramer as well. Picked it up a little bit better. 4 2/3 tonight. A little bit represented, like 5.16 total ERA. Maybe he's getting better. I hope so. But that's it. Brandon Young's been up and down. 0-1, 6.23 ERA as well. Not great in his starts as well. We'll see him definitely because of all the injuries. Batista gets the save tonight as well. He's been terrific. They just haven't used him much because they haven't won much. So I think that's definitely a thing. But he did get the save tonight as well. I think his velocity is down. He doesn't look like I don't see those 150 mile an hour. I don't mind that so much. I mean, if it keeps him off the IL. The bullpen hasn't been as bad as as people think. Dominguez 2.79, Soto 4.91. This is of last night's game. Perez has been not good, obviously. He's been the 9.69. Cano's been really good. I'm surprised they're not using Cano more. Again, like Jackson Holiday, it doesn't seem like, even when he plays well, that Hyde has confidence in him. Strange. Like, I've seen that with a lot of Cano. He hasn't given up any runs at all, but yet until you kind of like leveraging him. It's weird. Aiken's been really good. He actually got the spot start the other week when they moved Morton to the bullpen. Barker, I think, has been really good all season. Matt Bowman kind of struggled more lately as well. He's gotten better lately despite all of the issues. There you go. So, Orioles not good. Did get a win tonight. Really need to, I think, play Kerstad and Holiday every day. I think that's just kind of crazy to me. Why you're trying so hard to play Jorge Mateo. And on the pitching side has been bad. You're just kind of waiting for the cavalry. You're just kind of waiting for Eflin to come back. I don't know if you're going to have Grayson this year. You should have Eflin at some point. You should have Bradish at some point. So they got to hold on to the cavalry comes in. Real quick, I was going to discuss it. I think I kind of moved past it. I do want to talk real quick. Mel, Kuiper. Mel, leave Mel alone, all you football fans out here. Mel, I think, hasn't changed at all. A lot of people wanting him fired for the way he acted during the draft. He was really going nuts because of the Shedeur Sanders drop in the draft. So I think that was kind of weird. I think the difference is the panel is different on there. Mel kind of acts that way, but back in the day, had Chris Mortensen been there, Chris Berman would have been there, somebody would have pushed back. They kind of just looked at him. They didn't really fight and push back there. McShay, whatever, would have gave him a hard time. I think, but he's always kind of been the same guy. Clay Travis kind of made a stupid comment. Well, if you're so smart, why aren't you a GM? Well, he actually did work with Ernie Kersey. Who worked with the Baltimore Colts. So that's not true that he hasn't worked with a team he doesn't understand. So I leave Mel alone. Mel is 60-something years old now. He's still fired up. But I think all the Mel stuff was kind of the – although he was crazy, acting crazy about Shedeur as well, because we've never seen that. Shedeur got drafted in the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns. Strange. We just talked about Mike Green going all the way down to the 5th round, going all the way to the 2nd round. Mike Green has sexual assault allegations and dropped from like 10 to 59. I've never seen a player where you thought he was a 1st-round pick go all the way to the 5th round. That's crazy. Don't talk to me about gold chains and all that other stuff. What they were worried about is you bring his son in, and they're going to bring his dad in as coach, and they're going to fire you. That's what you're worried about. That's what happened. That's why Shedeur got picked in the 5th round. The owner, and just my opinion, where the owner pick in Cleveland was able to go ahead and he put a stop to this and said, look, you're going to take Shedeur, because he was sitting right there. That's what happened. So in life, more important than money, more important than riches or whatever is self-preservation. And these coaches were protecting themselves. No way a guy is projected that high, and maybe let's even put him high, not as high as people thought he was. He falls all the way to the 5th round because you didn't like his attitude. You know, I think about the old thing about Jimmy Johnson real quick. Jimmy Johnson said he once cut a player, not good in meetings and all that other stuff. Jimmy Johnson said he once cut a player because he fell asleep in a meeting. Well, somebody asked him, well, had it been Troy Aikman, would you cut him? No, I just told him to wake up. So that's what kind of what I mean. Miss me with you're so mad about the whiteboard and the meetings. No, they didn't want to have Dion hovering around them to possibly take their job. That's what it was. That's why he dropped. All right. Orioles report. Back on the track there. Dylan Carlson moved up from AAA. Norfolk as well. Tyler O'Neill went on a 10-day deal, retroactive 24th. Grant Wortham went to Norfolk. Option Brandon Young to Norfolk. Young has been up and down several times as well. Norfolk went back down to Norfolk. Option Brandon Young went Norfolk, and they selected the contract of Colin Shelby and then returned Colin Shelby to Norfolk. Musical chairs. So many injuries, guys going up and down here. Kyle Stroud from Cade Stroud up from Norfolk. Option Grant Woodrum to Norfolk. Selected the contract of Maverick Hanley and Emmanuel Rivera from Norfolk. Back up and down again. Is why I think I already did that one. Yeah, sorry, I did that. So, claim Walter Pennington from Rangers from the Texas Rangers. Gary Sanchez and Jordan Westberg went on the 10-day IL. Transferred Colton Cowser from the 10-day IL to the 60-day. There's only so many guys you can keep on the 10-day. Cowser's already missed a month, so they moved him to the 60-day. Transferred also Grayson Rodriguez to the 60-day IL. Recalled Kyle Gibson from the minor leagues. Option Cade Stroud. So Stroud went back down. Trevor Rogers is going on a rehab assignment in Norfolk. We could be seeing him pretty soon in the majors. Yankees, 6 home runs against the Orioles in a lopsided defeat, 15-3 in the game on Tuesday night. That's the second time in 3 weeks the Orioles have lost by 12 or more runs. Fourth time in 3 weeks, they've lost by 7 or more runs. These games are looking like football games. Like, how are you losing by 12 and 7? That's how bad the starting pitching has been. The quiet kept the bullpen is actually, when I looked at it, it's actually been better than I thought it was. Like, it hasn't been that bad, but they can't get anything from the starters. They're not getting anything from the starters, and their offense has been scuffling. Kittredge has been throwing recently in a practice session and is expected to rehab soon. I think we're going to get Kittredge in the next 2-3 weeks. I'd be surprised. I mean, it depends on how the rehab goes, but I think we're going to get him pretty soon. You Cedric Varner out of the bullpen last night. Kyle Gibson got his first start of the year, and that seems like that's going to be the plan. Mercifully, Morton's going to the bullpen. I just know the way to slice it. I mean, he's lucky they didn't just DFA him out and out because they're spending so much money on him. I think that's the reason why they're doing that. Sagano, Felix Bautista, and Mullins, who's hot. Pretty much there's not a lot of hot because you lost so many games. But these guys have really played well. Sagano, I think, has been clearly the best pitcher. Bautista, I think, has been decent, except for his first outing as well. They haven't used him much. Mullins has been fantastic. Not good. Dean Kramer, Matt Bowman, Sir Anthony Dominguez in this last week. Dominguez, not great so far this week. A little better tonight. Kramer, up and down. Bowman, kind of the same, up and down. This week, Kansas City Royals. Again, so like the Ravens, Orioles have had trouble with Kansas City. Royals have knocked them out in the playoffs the last few times. 2 of the last 3 times they've been. And the Minnesota Twins going to Minnesota and play. And it's not a repeat. Ryan O'Hearn, I think, the second week in a row, I think, was player of the week. I think without Ryan O'Hearn and Cedric on offense, there's nothing. A lot of guys are struggling. So shout out to those guys for getting it done. Thank you very much this week for the Ravery Sports Podcast and joining us this week. Major announcement about Ravery Sports, that company, that site. Very excited about the new partnership we're going to have. We're going to announce that next week. I'm going to take all the paperwork to the lawyers this week before I announce it and everything. So you'll be seeing it next week. We'll be happy to go ahead and get squared away. You guys have a great rest of your evening.